Hi, my name is Brooke Miller. I'm a local business owner here. I'm celebrating 20 years with Beaumont Exchange this year. But honestly, there's a lot of struggles that small businesses are going through right now, and they have been really for the last, since March 2020, when we all had to shut down for about a month. Knowing what I know now, I would not have done that, but things like I used to hire 14, 15-year-olds a year ago for $8 an hour because that was above minimum wage. And I thought, cool, this is their first job. I'm teaching them how to, get to work on time and work hard, all that. I am now having to hire them for 11, even to just get them to walk in the door and put their resume in, because they can go to any other corporate business or other small businesses that maybe can pay more and make $15 an hour. Wendy's, McDonald's, Pita Pit, whatever. So not only that, I just opened my little boutique in Midtown, and it was a 2-year lease, and it just raised $500 in 2 years. And now I'm just dreading when my 7-year lease comes up in Parkwood, which is the Hayden Mall, and then also, right by Texas Roadhouse, and also out in Post Falls. I don't want to raise my prices, but I'm just kind of wondering, what are the solutions for all of this? I had to co-sign for an employee to go get an apartment because she literally could not find anywhere to live on the wages, and I pay her well. She's worked for me for 3 years. I had to co-sign for an employee because this is where we're at in our community. And so I wonder, I'm full of hope about a lot of things, but are there some solutions that you can offer that maybe would give us a little more hope as to some kind of change?
Let's start with Elaine. Yeah. You haven't gotten to talk much. Or we could start with JD.
My first thought is government needs to get out of the way. And that's part of the problem, is that government tries to intervene in stuff that the free market should be doing. The government should have never shut down businesses to begin with. So government needs to get out of the way. There is no easy solution to the workforce housing issue because government can't control how much it costs to build anything, nor should they. So it's what Roger said earlier, with the type of people that are moving here is forcing all of these issues that we're facing right now, and there's no easy solution. Believe me, one of the forums that we went to, if you had a magic wand, what would you fix? Well, workforce housing would be the first thing that came to mind, because I have 2 boys that can't afford to live in the city that they grew up in. So it affects me personally. So if I had a solution, I would give it and we would implement it right away. But it's such a complex issue that I think we need to talk to developers, we need to talk to builders, we need to talk to realtors. I hate to say it, but greed comes into play. And I know a number of people that took advantage of the high housing prices. Do I blame them? Absolutely not. Because that's what you have free will to do that if you want to. So we can't come up with solutions. I think we need to rely on the people in the community to help come up with solutions. We need to rely on the developers to help come up with solutions. Maybe not make quite as much money so that we can have workforce housing. Build a cheaper townhome, or one of my friends came up with, I think is a great idea, build workforce condos. It's a smaller unit that they can own and earn equity in, but can government do that? No, that falls on the developer. So I think it's just having conversations with developers, having conversations with real estate people, having conversations with property management companies, see what solutions they have, and see what we can do to help facilitate those.
JD, how about you?
Good question, Brooke. I am a business owner as well, and I feel your pain on this. As far as wages, we used to hire interns that we could bring them in pretty easily at $12 an hour. Now they won't even talk to us for at least 15 usually, just for an intern, someone who doesn't have necessarily a high skill. And so there's a lot, I think there is a lot that we can do to get the government out of the way of the process as much as possible. But it is a national problem. It's really a global problem, and I don't think it's an easy answer. But I do think that we have a lot of power here and brain capacity to be able to handle these problems when we get on, and to be able, I think, as we get, if we can get all of us on the board or on the city council, I think that's also something that we really need to push for, because just one of us gets on and we're not going to be able to make much change. But if we can all get on, as well as the mayor, I think that we can make some real change.
Joe, you want to chime in on that?
Yeah, I'll jump in on this too. I think one of the problems we're seeing with the with wages, I don't know if I could call it a problem, but for lack of a better term, is guess who stuck its nose in the wage market? Well, the federal government. The government stuck its nose in the wage market by giving people money to sit home on their derrieres and not go to work. So it disincentivized people from working, and it pushed wages up. The government does this periodically. They did it 10 years ago with the automobile market, with cash for clunkers, if you remember that. What they did was they took all these cars that were less than $5,000 and they crushed them. And those were cars that a lot of people bought as a first automobile so they could get to their job. And they ruined that market, and I think it's settled down now, but it took about 10 years for the used car market to settle down. I think we're going to see the same thing with wages. We have an inflated wage right now in our economy, which is very strong because we've got such a low unemployment rate here, and a growing economy. So we're dealing with that, and I don't think we're going to get out of it for a few years. I'm sorry to say that, but I think this is what it's going to look like for the near future. As far as the housing issue goes, I think one of the things we can look at when we get into the government is ways to incentivize the development of lower cost homes. And one of the ways I think we might do that is we might look at the fee structure of building. Maybe we want to say that your fee for building a house that is going to sell for $200,000 as a fee structure that's 50% less than the fee structure of a house that's built for $500,000. And maybe that house at $750,000 has a fee structure that's 150% of the normal fee. So, there are economic ways where the city can hopefully incentivize the growth of the housing market.